Got an SH-33 from my KLR650. Got a 2012. What it looks like. Has a silver tail light instead of the red. I bought the backrest accessory. Had to screw that in order to do so. There's two little notches or little divots in the back side of the case. You take a drill bit about the width of the screws, drill them through those little notches. They take these recessed washers with the Phillips head screw and screw it through. But this is what I found, is that when you put this on, it's going to take quite a bit of effort of counter pressure, pushing against the screw, pushing on the backrest. But nonetheless got it on. Alright, so to get it on the bike, what I found also is this. For the KLR, there's 6 natural screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, and right under here is 5 and 6 Allens. Regrettably, if you ever want to access your toolkit, you can't use any of those, so you just leave them all in. I just ended up picking some screw holes or some points to screw through, because underneath here there's enough room for you to navigate with your hands that you can hold up these plastic lock nut washers. It's got the plastic inner seal in the bolt. Anyhow, these are the particular holes that I picked. I lined it up again with the backrest in mind and accessibility to the toolkit. Use these holes. You drill it through, then you take these red kind of spacers, if you will, that has a sleeve in it about the width of the screw. You push it down through, screw it through your holes, and then you bolt them from the underside. And you can continue to, of course, you just screw on the top there while you're holding the bolt underneath, and it'll ultimately feed its way up the screw. Well, let's see what it looks like here in just a second when I get these bolts on and with the Shad mounted. Right, so what I did here, since some of these bolts, well, it's kind of hard to get the hands in there, so I took some duct tape and just put it on the underside of a 10mm wrench. And your screw will ultimately create a hole, but that's okay because the size of the bolt itself, or the nut, I guess, will still hold in place. So you can stick your hands up under here and hold it in place while you screw down on the top of these Phillips heads, and it'll ultimately secure it. Okay, so here's the finished product. Again, that duct tape tip for your 10mm wrench will serve you well. Here's the key. Don't try to use your eyes to look underneath. Just use your hands and feel where the bolt is coming through. And you can slip the washer up there, hold the washer with one hand while you get the other hand in there, just enough, of course, with the wrench, with the bolt in place, and you can just hold it suspended underneath, just pushing upward slightly. Then you just start to screw down again on these Phillips heads, and it will ultimately draw the bolt up to the top and secure it. Why did I pick the holes, if you're wondering, closer to the front of the bike? Well, just for a stability standpoint. I've had Shad cases in the past before, and I've seen people on the highway with top cases and they're just flapping in the wind. So the closer I can get to the actual firm area, as well as to the guest I might have on the back of my bike, the more stable it will be. So there, once you get this on, then you just slip in this top plate. It's got these areas, these clips here that just should clip in. I'm going to go ahead and clip this on, and then just install the top case as it would sit, and I'll get right back with you. Alright, so I'm back with you. This is what the top case looks like ultimately installed. I know it's somewhat dark in here, so pardon the darkness, but if you know Shad cases, in order to get this thing to sit down on the case, you'll actually have to push down on this lower half portion, and it'll sit down on this lock. Of course, you stick it in the toe here first up front. But again, thinking of the passenger in mind, you look at the back seat, where the back seat ends, and if you're to go up, this is a reasonable place for a passenger to have a backrest. And of course, I still have access to my toolkit. And it's not overbearing. I mean, if you look at the bike, it's not sticking out side by side. It's a good size for the KLR SH-33. Anything bigger than that, and I feel like it's just too much of a back end. I had a SH-26. I thought I could have, gone a little bit bigger. And of course, I picked the SH-33 this go around, and we'll see how it goes. Have fun.